Hey, here we are again. One more time. This is what episode 21. We've done 20s before. We're doing number 21 now with our good buddy Disco Stu. He lives down there in Tennessee. Probably about an hour from my house, I'm guessing.
About that.
Yeah, and then we got old Foxy. He's still down there in mom's spare room.
Fucking southern New York. South
my
Jersey.
very first question I got to ask you is, when you had the Harley and the Vespa, whatever happened to the Vespa?
So there was a pilot, crew chief, his wife was Japanese, met her in the Marines. It's like a real cool thing over there, I guess.
Yeah.
He pinstriped a bunch of old, 3/4 style, Captain America helmets. Pinstriped a bunch. I gave it to him. He actually fully restored it, painted it black and white checkerboard, gave it to her for 30th birthday or something.
Oh,
and she was in hog heaven on her little Vespa. So
hog heaven.
Good cause.
I have never even thought about hearing. I mean, Harley with the ape hangers up here and shit, and then a Vespa riding around the back of his pickup. That was one of the funniest things I've seen in my life. I loved it.
You can't not associate with one group and associate with another. That's wrong, right?
Exactly.
Bias and stuff nowadays.
Yeah.
That's styling and profiling them.
Oh,
Vespa.
Lordy. Oh,
so
man.
How did y'all two meet? Because people are going to see the names. They're going to see Disco Stu, and they're going to be like, this guy has a fucking Coors hat on. Merica. Let's dive right into it.
Right there.
Well, yeah.
He and my neighbor were really good friends, and then he came over, and I'm like, what the hell? So we were out there BSing, and it just kind of grew together, I guess. Isn't that a good way of putting it?
Pretty much, yeah. I'm kind of from the Midwest area growing up, and I mean, Bruce's dad's from the Midwest, and his mom was a corn stalk or something. Wasn't it like some corn experiment or something?
Hey, now. Look here, you're from what, North Dakota?
Hey,
South
that's
Dakota?
Right. That's right.
Yeah, it's almost as bad as Nebraska, so.
But yeah, we just kind of clicked, weird Midwestern things, and plus I kind of like picking on his wife about the whole, New England Patriots. Not that you'd ever know she's a fan.
She deserves it.
Yeah. Who do you like?
I kind of gave up on football, and I don't want to be like that cliche, kneeling, blah, blah, blah. I do think it's bullshit. But there's like a lot of politics to it. And then a lot of it is cliche, all right, dude, through what do they pay? Like 15 games a year, 18? I don't even know.
17 now.
17
weeks. Yeah.
So the guy went out for a couple hours, 17 games, throwing around a football, making, so many millions of dollars. And, Mr. House here, he's only getting 14 cents a mile,
oh, God.
Rolling on America like Alabama, trying to keep us in the road. But I was a Steelers fan growing up, so.
Steeler fan.
Yep. I was born in 1974. My dad was a Steelers fan, so I think it was kind of like the Spartans. It held me over the cliff, and he's like, "Say Terry Bradshaw,
Simba."
Yeah, kind of the same thing. So I grew up on that. My favorite team now, I guess, would have to be the York Institute Dragons, where my son plays from. They were actually the number 1 2A team in the state this year. So, go Dragons.
Hell yeah.
Yep. Well, Nikki teaches at is the same school?
It's LBJ&C, I guess. It's kind of like a county state funded type Head Start thing. But it's kind of in the same parking lot.
Oh, okay. Driven by it once or twice.
What's that?
What position does he play?
Well, I always say he plays center, guard, tackle, center of the bench, guards the water bucket, tackles in there.
God damn.
Now, usually he plays pulling guard. He wants to play defense, but I keep telling him, you're too smart to play defense. You got to play offense. He is pretty smart, can read the field. Usually plays guard, shovels it a little bit. He'll play defense. A couple times he played center. He's a lefty, and that's what he grew up playing center a lot. He don't like it. Like most teenage boys, they want to inflict pain on other people. So
I'm sure he wants to play on that defensive line and smack somebody coming his way.
Yep. And he's finally got a little more speed on him. He's 6'1", 200 or so. He's a decent sized kid.
How old is he? He's
17. He's a junior this year.
So Julia's the youngest.
Yep. He's a sophomore.
Okay. 3 kids, 2 girls.
Yeah, oldest and youngest.
Girls are expensive.
Girls would be hard, I can imagine.
Yeah, good size 13 football cleats are expensive too, though. So.
Oh, geez. Who else has big feet?
My Crocs, I use those as skis sometimes. But my foot's wide. I got a 13, but my foot's really wide. It's like a 4E type of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just like walking around on like giant pancakes.
Yeah, I'm 5'9". You are not blowing me over. It takes a good gust of wind and a stiff fart.
You're smuggling out snowboards underneath your ankles.
I got false bottoms in these shoes.
Heck yeah.
Forwards or sideways.
So, man, what do you... Oh, my God. You guys just shooting and shit? What do you guys do up there in the Tennessee?
Tennessee? Well, I like some of this stuff.
Yeah?
You know, there's other activities. I like, cutting stuff down with chainsaws. Me and Bruce are just talking about that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Should have this like mobile where I can go out and show you my chainsaw display. Kind of proud of my 6 chainsaws.
He's got a great big, I mean, this thing's huge.
Yeah?
It's,
The mill itself?
No.
Well, I've got a actual sawmill, but no, I've got a Husqvarna 395 XP. So it's like a 93, 94 cc, and it's 7.5 or something. Yeah. It's like 7.5 horsepower, and it's professional, longer stuff, 32-inch bar.
My first dirt bike was an 80 cc.
Yeah. So it makes, it's coming in there. I'm coming in there about the same power as some old Ford Escorts and that sort of stuff. But
he said, Doomsday, fuck it.
That doesn't get used as much as the smaller ones, But no, I did my time in the Army and retired and everything, and tried a few normal jobs, and that just didn't fit. And I did security jobs. Yeah, I worked for an explosives company, and then I sold Chevys for 3 weeks up in Hopkinsville.
Oh.
I won't name the name of that crappy dealership that was just dirty.
Yeah.
They taught first aid, CPR and everything under American Heart, American Red Cross, and still wasn't feeling it. So from 2016 until 2015 until 2021, I did security work overseas. It was all pretty much Department of State related stuff.
Yeah.
Had a really good time. Unfortunately, in 2021, they forced the COVID shot. Like, if you don't get it, you can't be here. Me and a few other guys, generally guys that same thing, had been retired from military, got decent money. And they're like, well, you know what? It don't matter how much money you got if you're not around to spend it.
Yep.
So I know one day they lost 3 guys that all of us had 20 plus years. And then between the 3 of us, I think I had the least at like 5.5, 6 years. I think one guy had about 12 years contract and one guy had about 8 years contract. And, so they lost 60 plus years of military experience. And then, whatever that is, 25, 30 years of contracting experience, plus just, I don't know, 100 plus years of being alive experience.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Because they can't tell you what to do with your body. That's jeez. That's crazy.
Well, that shot, I mean, it's a whole new, it's not just a shot, it's a whole new kind of shot. It's just, see, I actually thought about it. I thought about getting it. I did. I sat down and waited for a while, and I just couldn't see any reason to get it.
You're probably going to pencil in Hillary Rodham Clinton, too. Fucking
no, no, not
Bernie
yet.
Sanders. He's writing in Bernie Sanders.
Give me a couple more years. I might be voting.
He's got the burn. Yeah.
No, it kind of chapped my ass and everything, and came back to Tennessee, and well, I guess it was kind of Kentucky. They lost their mind during COVID.
Yeah,
ridiculous.
Yeah.
So I got stuck out. February. This happened 2020, right? Was the big COVID thing?
Yeah, like
When it
February or so.
So about December of 2019, I told my boss, like, hey, if you need me to stay longer, I'll stay longer. But if they'd extend, kind of not forcibly extend you, but if you went over your timeline of, I did 84 days in country and then 42 days out. So it's pretty cool. Not everyone got that same option, but I tell them, hey, look, I'll stay longer, but I want that extra $150 a day.
Oh,
And COVID was already popping up a little bit in December, and no, we're not going to just pay you to stay. And I'm like, look, I'm about to buy some, plane tickets. Me and the wife are going to travel. So if you want me now, I'll do it, but I want the money. No, don't want it. Okay, cool. Bought plane tickets, took the wife to Italy, Spain, and England. Flew over there, and we landed in Rome, and we're seeing like a few little masks. We leave Rome, get to Barcelona, and as we're leaving Barcelona, like boom, Rome shut down. No one's coming or going.
Oh.
We got to England. We're only there like a day. By the time we land in the States, Barcelona shut down. No one's coming or going.
Oh shit.
Another weird fact, I get back, I was living in West Kentucky at the time and didn't have any real outbreaks. So I went to Lexington a few years later to Bud's Guns. You got to promote Bud's Guns. Those dudes are awesome. Went up there to get some guns I had on layaway, and about 4 days after that, they had a big COVID outbreak in Lexington.
Oh, you've been bringing it.
Yeah.
I went someplace else. Bigger city, and it was a couple days later they had a big outbreak, and that was my nickname was Patient Zero for a while. So, could be true, could be a fake. I had it twice that I knew about. I got swabbed and everything, and if I wouldn't have been swabbed, I would have just thought I got crud flying to the airport, and a day later I was fine. So
first time I had it, it just knocked me just about half dead for a day and a half. Just sitting in a truck stop, just drinking as much orange juice and water and whatever as I could, and go out back in a truck with a dog and pee, and then climb back up in there and just lay back down. It hit me hard for about a day and a half.
Yeah,
The second time I was just really droopy for about a week.
Yeah, like worse than you are now, or
much worse. Yeah,
I can't imagine.
I was almost like Jen, all sleeping all the time and stuff.
Oh. No,
that's all it was.
Yeah, my son got it when I was over in Iraq and everything, and he was, I guess, really bad off. Had 101 or so fever and really sick. Yeah. My wife actually had it here beginning of November. She was sick and coughing and everything, and I'm like, no, you said stay in for the medical and TRICARE. I'm like, take your ass to the doctor.
Mm-hmm.
So she went in, got swabbed and poked and this and that, and they said, yeah, you got like flu, borderline pneumonia, strep throat. That's all they told her. So she comes home and, we're sleeping just a few feet apart.
Yeah.
Got better for a day or two. And then next thing you know, about 4 or 5 days later, she's almost worse. She went back to the same doctor and they said, well, you don't have COVID no more. She goes, what do you mean? Oh, you had COVID before. She goes, well, I work at Head Start. You should tell me this. Which she stayed home that Friday,
the
Saturday, Sunday.
Virus.
Yeah, I know. But there I was. I mean, like I said, she got flu and pneumonia and COVID, and I didn't get a sore throat or nothing. But a little bit of Grandpa's cough medicine that'll keep you healthy anyway.
A little bit of the recipe for, or not recipe. What Granny always call it on the Beverly Hillbillies?
Oh,
yeah, a little bit of whatever that is.
Yeah.
That. Yeah.
You've been bringing that up a lot lately. The Beverly Hillbilly. We were talking about it today earlier.
No, Ellie Mae.
Yeah, was it? And what was Daisy? Daisy Mae. That was Dukes of Hazzard.
Daisy. It wasn't Daisy Mae. It was just Daisy Duke.
Daisy Duke.
Oh yeah. Catherine Bach.
We didn't have that.
It was Jethro and Jethro Clampett and Ellie Clampett.
Yep.
Ellie was the blonde kind of hot girl.
I know Waylon Jennings did the intro. Right?
The Beverly Hillbillies?
Yeah, wasn't it?
Waylon Jennings did Dukes of Hazzard there, buddy.
Yeah.
What's in your cup, Foxy?
That's water. I don't drink.
Okay. All right.
I was drinking when I got out of the Army because I quit working out. I couldn't afford it. And I like smoking weed better, honestly.
No, that's not bad.
It,
I think
it,
there's probably better things with weed than beer in the most part.
Shit,
I
Tennessee's
can't.
talking about making it illegal.
Only thing about that, and this is I never really Google it. Just one of them things. The guy seemed legit, so hey, I'll take you for your word.
Yeah.
But I guess a lot of the drug bust stuff funds the state troopers. So
Oh,
now they bust a guy with a a freaking barrel of marijuana, a big bale of marijuana in his car and his dog and his house and whatever. They sell it.
And it goes, yeah.
I can
So
see it happening.
Oh God, yes.
I think they do that with like the old guns and stuff. I remember back in the day with the flea market back at home, they would, like at the end of the year, they would get all the guns and then they would sell them to like one seller, and he'd go to the flea market and sell them.
They're doing that in Kentucky sometime this month. I've got a buddy of mine that does. Did I show you that rifle that was a little army man on it? The Cerakote job? Bruce? My fault. When you come over again, I will. Anyway, he's a Glock armor, does Cerakoting, and then hot rods the Glocks as the undercuts and stuff like that. He's an FFL dealer, but I sent him the link. But yeah, Kentucky, you have to be.
Oh, he's in Kentucky.
He's in Georgia, but Kentucky is selling a bunch of like seized property, guns, and like the hot rod. I don't know, 76 Buick 4-door, whatever drug dealers drive up in Kentucky. I don't know. Yeah. So they're selling a bunch of that shit sometime this month.
Yeah, I got an upper end he painted or Cerakoted or something.
Yeah. He does really good work.
Got to get a lever action, man. 45 long Colt.
I got 45 long Colt and 4 30-30 lever action. So I can defend myself even in the People's Republic of California if I go there.
Yeah?
Yep.
Oh,
good God! If you point a gun at somebody, get arrested, don't you?
Yep. And if you guys look up,
it's not true, Bruce.
If you look up Single Action Shooting Society, it's to me it's really cool, but it's also kind of weird. Most part, it's guys in their 50s and 60s, and they take on a persona. You get to make up your own name. It's competition shooting, but you have to have a lever action. You have to have 2 single action wheel guns and then a shotgun. But it's got to be period correct. So you can buy a, I don't know, like a Cimarron or something that's made nowadays, but it needs to look like, an 1873 Colt, 1875 Remington, so on and so forth.
Like a replica.
Yeah.
I think I've seen that on like YouTube or something.
Yeah.
The one where they go.
Oh, yeah.
And then, the double barrels.
Yeah, some of those guys that run those lever guns.
Yeah.
They're
interesting little sidebar, I guess, on that. So you see in the movie Horse Soldiers with the whole special forces guys in Afghanistan?
I've heard of it. I know what you're talking about.
I think it's Horse Soldiers, but it's the first team that kind of goes into Afghanistan. They're mounted on horses with, riding with the Mujahideen and everything. So special forces, American Army marksmanship unit, stuff like that, they kind of have, a few little jobs they have influence on. So, if you do really good for AMU or a group or whatever, they kind of like poke you in there. So got lucky enough to use a range that was run by a special forces group and showed up there. And the guy that ran it was a member of that team that actually went in Afghanistan. And he was into cowboy action shooting. Had a bunch of guns he was taking apart and, same thing, tuning up like you would anything else. And I asked him about it and he said, I'm not trying to, brag. He goes, but it's just not fun. He goes, for the most part, I can hit what I'm aiming at. He goes, but, these old revolvers and lever actions, he said, yeah, you can hit what you're aiming at. He goes, but you got to do the work. Like you said, you got to run the lever, you got to crank it. Plus, you don't have 30 rounds or a, 100 round magazine where you got to make them count. You know?
Yeah.
But some of them dudes that run lever guns that can speed reload, like that's the whole 10 round mag, 7 round mag, whatever. Well, if you know what you're doing, somebody said fear the man that only owns one gun.
Yeah,
you only own one gun, like you're probably pretty damn good at it. So
I love those
anyway,
lever actions. I want to. What was that one I was telling you, Bruce? The from Zombieland 2, the one with Willie Nelson
Oh.
or Woody Harrelson that he uses.
Yeah, you were
About that
talking
long.
about, yeah.
It has a lever act. That'd be cool.
I was
I don't
about
remember.
to say I got the second best thing behind me, but since I've already drank alcohol, I'm not going to grab it and I don't know, probably get arrested by the liberal internet police. But I got a double barrel 10 gauge by
Oh, shit.
Jesus.
Oh,
sitting
no.
right over there. So,
A 10.
matter of fact, give me 1 second. I'll show you.
What's he gonna shoot? A goddamn rhino?
So all I'm doing, of course, is holding a cartridge. But
Yeah.
so here's a 10 gauge shell. I don't know if I got a 12 gauge shell. I'm sure I do someplace, but
Mhm.
I don't know if you're shotgun people or not. But a 12 gauge double-aught buck has 9 pellets.
9 pellets, yeah.
So let me see if I can close this box up and find where it says it on there. But yeah, I have 18 pellets. I don't
Yeah,
know if
my cousin up in Wisconsin uses a 10 gauge to go turkey hunting with.
Yeah, pretty low. But yeah, so I pull both barrels at the same time. It's like
Ooh.
4 12 gauge double-aught bucks just going through the door.
Ripping your arm off.
Yeah.
That's a
Yeah.
much. You know, you're trying to shoot a hole in a mountain.
Yeah.
Tunnel.
It's just one of them things. I bought that because I couldn't find a 8 gauge anywhere, So guys got to
hunt with an 8 gauge.
And then the next thing is what, like a small cannon that they used to put on pirate ships, like the little ball. That's about the
they got 8. They used to have 6, and they got 4 bore. And the 4 bore they still use, but they mounted on a tripod.
Yeah.
These big blast furnaces, they'll put them like powdered copper in there, and they'll wheel it in, open the door, and shoot. And then when it hits, it blows all the soot and the coke and everything off these boilers.
Oh, God, yeah.
So it's like industrial use. So that's
well, I remember seeing the videos of back in the day. They used the punt guns, the great big ones. They mounted them right on the deck of the boats, and they shot ducks with them. I mean, these things were
those were like
guns,
4 bores and 2 bores and stuff.
Because what was it, Kentucky Ballistics on YouTube? The guy with that 50 cal hit that shit, blew up in his face. He had a 4 bore, and then he had something that was bigger than that. It was like the round was like 3.5 inches. It made a 45-70 look like it was nothing.
Yeah, no, they got some giant guns. There's a neat YouTube video of like somebody shooting these safari rounds, and they've got 500 nitros, 700 nitros, 577 Tyrannosaurus. And there's a big old boy, and I mean, he's leaned in. Like, if he leans another inch, he'd fall forward. And he, pulls them, and most of them are, double barrel guns and throwing them backwards. So yeah, the Kentucky Ballistics guy. Here's my thought. You seen the video on that, right?
Which one? I mean, I've seen
like
most.
where it blows up on him and like.
Yeah,
okay.
It lacerated his neck.
All right, so they got slap T ammo, and it's basically a neck down cartridge, and they've got the Sabo, so you can shoot a smaller bullet faster.
Yep.
We had some of that, like that existed when I was in the Army. I had Alpha Bravo Charlie. I had 5 Barrett M107 sniper rifles in my section that I ran. In the Barrett, I'm pretty sure in the Barrett book, I think even on that can of ammo, it said, for use in M2/M2A1 only. Like right there, don't shoot it in just, something you can carry for the most part. Shoot from your shoulder. Yeah. Giant amount of overpressure. I think Winchester or somebody in the past made like these little Sabo rounds. My dad used to use 30-30 rounds, but it's like a 22 caliber bullet. And then you got this plastic Sabo around it, shoots it out, goes screaming out the barrel, right? A lot of overpressure, a lot of things going on. So his thing was, well, somebody messed with the ammo. He's like, oh, no. Well, number one, you shouldn't shoot it in a shoulder fired gun anyway. Okay. So we'll just pretend that didn't exist. Okay. Pretend whatever his gun is, you can shoot it in there. But then he said somebody tampered with it. So I don't know if you guys ever seen a 50 cal like reloading press.
No,
I've got 5 reloaders, right? I've got 3
Yeah.
single stage and 2 progressive. So like the regular, I'm trying to back up and show you. So a regular
Yeah.
press is about this big, and
mm-hmm.
comes up, poke your bullet in, and you do whatever series you are on it, let it down. So you can imagine, a 30-06 bullet compared to a 50 cal. Press is huge.
Say it wouldn't even fit.
Only thing you can reload on is a 50 cal.
Yeah.
Like that's the only reason for having one. So someone would have to have that. Well, then you would have to pull that bullet.
You got to have
stable out, dump that powder out, and put in, say, I don't know, like unique pistol powder that burns really fast.
Mm-hmm.
So dump that powder out, do whatever. I don't know, sell it in the black market or whatever you're going to do with it. Put in some crazy powder and then be able to squeeze down that sabo, seat it, plus compress the brass itself around it, and then take it out and sell it.
So you have to intentionally sabotage it.
You'd have to have all kinds of special equipment and everything else to do it. Yeah.
Just to reload it. If somebody sabotaged it, but like 99.99 repeating forever, it's not designed to be shot in, a smaller barreled shoulder rifle. So I feel bad for the guy. He's pretty funny, the videos I've seen, but that's not nobody sabotaging the ammo and, this and, I got a hot round. Like, no, you shouldn't have been shooting it.
Yeah.
Like the chamber pressure and the CPU and everything is just off the charts. So, like I said, that's just me.
Over in Afghanistan, we had two or three boxes of that stuff in our gun truck. 2-3 gun trucks had, that for their first box, and that would punch through all kinds of stuff.
That's the one with the tungsten thing in it and a little red cap.
Little plastic. It was just like you're saying, had the plastic there and the freaking.
Yeah.
No, not tungsten. I don't know if it's tungsten or not, but it punched through anything.
Yeah, it was. It's pretty nasty. We were in Yakistan, old Yakima Training Center. I don't know what year. Ranger Regiment rolled through before us, and there was 1-inch, bulletproof plates. Same thing, armor piercing 50 cal. I mean, 50 cal is pretty nasty. 12.7 are nasty, but the targets themselves were like curved. They weren't flat with a hole through it, like they were curved.
Yep.
And just holes punched all through it, and that's what it was with slap T. Because we went and looked, just walking down range doing our stuff, and it wasn't 50 cal. I forget. I don't know if it's like 33 or 38 caliber, but it's smaller than a 50. But I mean, it's like somebody just touched off a plasma cutter right there. It's perfect circle.
Popped right through them. Yeah.
But bent all their targets up. They were not happy. So that should not be shot out of. I mean, that's just chamber pressure. It's the same thing as somebody trying to do like a 45 Colt or long Colt, I guess, even though they don't really make short Colts. But someone trying to do a 45 long Colt plus P out of an old, like something made in 1873, just a different metallurgical, different. You're going to get what you get.
Wasn't that all black powder back then too? Now it's smokeless.
Yep.
Back in the day,
Yeah, it was. I think most of them 45 Colts ran 850 to maybe 900 feet per second, and I've got a lever gun and 3 revolvers, and that's the thing. They're all, reproduction looks like old cowboy guns, but I also know if I'm going to reload, I can't push them at 1,800 feet per second. Yeah. I can do it once, but I'll end up like,
well, you can do anything once.
Holding my neck.
Last time too.
Yeah. So you get the Ruger Red Hawks and some of these modern guns, you can load them up hot and everything. But I mean, I feel bad for the dude. It sucks. He seems like a cool guy. It's just, you don't know what you don't know.
Yeah.
I like trap shooting. That's the only type of reloading I've ever done with shotguns.
Really? So you dying to shoot this double barrel 10 gauge then, right?
Not even close. I have a shotgun here. I won't shoot. It's a Massachusetts shooting company or something.
Yeah.
Old single shot. I got that cooler right there. Probably has, I think it's 10 boxes worth of empties.
Wow.
I got it. Yeah. Me and my grandfather, man, a lot. And that was just one cooler. There's probably 3 or 4 more 5-gallon buckets of deprimed. That's a lot of shells to reload. I got more boxes down here that haven't been shot yet, but I shoot like 7.5/8 1 ounce loads. About 360 some BBs in there, and I fucking love it.
Good shotgun story. So got to start off right. No shit, there I was up to my knees in brass and pull pins. Not really that. So I had a team over in Afghanistan in 2011, and it was the SFAT, the Security Force Advisory Team, right? Some guys, I guess, probably trying to press like, yeah, I'm taking this SFA team. You weren't really lying. Security Force Assistance Team, but not like Green Beret A team versus Green Beret B team. Anyway, whatever. Now I guess they have actual advisor teams. They wear like brown berets or something.
They do? Hell,
Yeah.
I don't know.
They've got actual advisor, and I think it's kind of cool. The little bit I know about it, they take guys and, hey, you go over and advise, and it's not kind of a special forces mission, I guess. But at the same point, we realize in the past, 20 plus years that it's not, necessarily Green Berets sneaking into Cambodia and training some dudes up and, running a 200-man unit over to do whatever they need to do. I mean, they're doing more direct action stuff. So anyway, this was the idea is, hey, we'll take 12 dudes and we'll partner them up with, we got partnered with the Afghan Army, another unit that lived with me from the 101st. They advised the police and one advised the Border Patrol. So like I'm hanging out with this sergeant major from the Afghanistan Army. I forget what unit offhand right now. He's like 32. I was 30, I think 5 or 6. Guys, were giving me crap about it. Well, he kind of got the job because he was the captain of the Afghan cricket team, like forever. And I tried one time, so I'm not going to talk shit because I am no good at cricket at all. And he was a great dude, don't get me wrong. But we go over there, and of course we've got, full loadout and, shotguns and belt feds and our personal weapons. Bunch of young lieutenants, never shot shotguns. Once again, I'm not like this great shotgun dude, like some John Wick stuff. Knew the basics and everything. Cool, we're going to go shoot. So the MPs were leaving. I happened to know their first sergeant on good terms, unlike most MPs in my past career, which I've had. These guys gave us probably 10 50 cal boxes of 12 gauge shells.
Oh, shit.
And everything from buckshot to door breaching to non-lethal. So we go over and give a quick little class. We got our 2 shotguns out. Hey, there's just something fun to do. Got this giant lieutenant. Like he would do PT with us in the morning. He would go to the gym at lunch, and then he would like do CrossFit or whatever in the evening. Right? Super awesome guy. Socially awkward, but just in awesome shape. So I'm talking him through the whole thing, and the other guys ahead of him, they're shooting double-aught buckshot. And, it's got a little bit of a kick. Well, I don't know if you ever shot a breaching round, but you can pretty much shoot it one-handed. There's, like, not much recoil, compressed copper. So that's the first one I load in there on him. Well, I take it back the last one. I loaded the gun up for him, put a bunch of double-aught buckshot, and then I put this breaching round. So he's up there just white-knuckling this thing, and then whoop, like about like a Daisy BB gun. And you see him kind of loosen up again, and he, racks that one out, goes to the next one, and then whoa, and then I guess, okay, I'm back to reality, and he racked that one out and did the rest. But then he noticed, hey, well, how come these are, whatever green and that one's red? And everyone kind of figured it out and stuff. But it's my little shotgun story.
So I'm not the only one.
Oh, yeah.
Me and Jason were out, my youngest were out shooting trap up there in New York, and I load the gun up for him, a couple number 8s, a freaking, number 1 baby 3-inch, you'll shove her up in there, and it's more number 8s. Boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
Same thing, same thing my daddy did to me.
We had a conversation about that today. When I was like 8, my dad had an old double barrel 10 gauge greener with the hammers, like the still cowboy guns.
Mm-hmm.
John Wayne.
Yeah, and him and his cousins, the guys used to run around with, they were shooting it, and it kicked them, but it would about cut a railroad tie in half. It just destroyed everything. I was about 8, so he was probably 28, 29, 30, something like that. And they may or may not have been drinking a little booze. Dad, I want to shoot it. I want to shoot it. I want to shoot it. So At the time, it didn't click. It took a few years, but he stuffs 2 10-gauge shells in there, cranks both hammers back. All right, just be careful. If you pull it too far, you'll get both barrels. Just don't pull it too far. Well, sure enough, 8-year-old kid, I snatched that trigger.
Dang.
And I just remember laying on the ground, the gun pointing in the air. And, of course, all his friends are laughing. But later on, when I remembered how guns work or realized it, I'm like, man, he didn't have to cock the hammer or even put the other shell in there. Like, there was a couple fail safes to not make your kid get knocked on his ass.
But that would take all the fun out of it.
I know. I brought it up with him, and I don't remember that. And he goes, well, I didn't. You got a lot of guns now, right? You still hunting everything? I said, yeah. Well, I didn't scare you away then.
Yeah, hey, he's got a point.
Fair enough, old man. Fair enough.
Yeah, can't hate that logic.
Oh God.
What kind of
All
shotguns did you guys use in the Army? Were those 20 gauges?
Remington 870 12 gauges.
Okay.
Oh, did you?
I think it was 870s. It wasn't
Mossberg.
We had Mossbergs.
Yeah.
Cav did.
Maybe it was Mossberg's then.
I
I know, like Department of
Maverick
State,
88.
when I work with them, we had 870s. So maybe I'm misremembering. I've got, I guess, one of each at home anyway, too. So I'm getting
The
it.
government's spending big money on those Remington 870s nowadays.
No.
Yeah.
I think some of the Marine units had the Benellis, and I'd heard that some of the SWAT MP guys had like Benellis. I don't know if it's true or not, but
those are nice guns.
Yeah.
I never really seen it. I don't know. They're neat. I'm definitely not like this shotgun guru and anything. I think I can probably hold my own against most people, but it's got its place for sure.
Oh yeah.
And people that can actually run them and shoot, especially like trap shooters. I mean, hats off. That's awesome.
Oh man,
trap is funner. I have a 22, and I love shooting it. I fucking love shooting that thing.
Mm-hmm.
But it's sitting there going with that, all right, lining it up. That fucking trap, that thing skirts out the side. You're following it, and it's like, oh, I love it.
Yeah,
that shit's fun. It's a challenge.
No, it is. And then they throw, what do they call them? Rabbits, the one that bounce on the ground.
Well,
that's skeet, but yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's skeet, not trap.
But then trap also, you could do a wobble setting. And so instead of it just going, out whichever way from the house, it could go up and down. So it could scurry across the thing. It might just go straight up in the air.
Okay. Yep.
I've done wobble once, and fuck that. I ain't that goddamn good.
And that's why I'd rather go pheasant hunting than deer hunting.
There's a dude on, and the only thing I really have for social media, I got LinkedIn and Instagram, and it's I think it's just called Pew Pew or something, but it's a guy I think he's from your neck of the woods, Bruce. He's from Nebraska, Iowa, whatever, kind of my neck of the woods. Competition shooter. He's a fairly young guy, but he had a video, and he's walking towards, a skeet thrower, shooting the clays as they come at him with pistols.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
And that was, I first, I'm like, nah, ain't no way. But, tried to slow it down and drag the thing. And, and I'm sure it's like anything else. And, these guys that shoot, he probably caught a couple to the face and missed quite a few. But he went through one run and hit about 5 of them, coming at him. Like, that's pretty impressive,
One of my dad's relatives used to go pheasant hunting with 22 shorts. Get the pheasants flying and shoot them with a friggin' rifle.
That's
not me.
Goddamn impressive, really.
I ain't making it happen, but he could.
That's why I got a 10 gauge, man. Whole lot of pellets, little bitty bird. I'm good to go.
I thought old Swift was gonna wreck right into that other truck pulling out.
You're gonna set you up a trap field or a skeet field, right, Bruce?
I don't know. I don't know if I want to cut down that many trees.
I'll bring that 10 gauge over or the chainsaws. We can cut trees down either way, man.
Now, you laugh, but that's how my father used to trim trees with his 12 gauge. Shit you not.
Get lucky.
We did I worked with an Army buddy of mine. He got out after Somalia, kind of moved on with life. I stayed in, did my 20 plus years. And we had a branch that had knocked a tree over, and there was a branch just sort of hanging, and he brought his 30-30 out. It was one of those, like, it just made everything look ugly. I mean, there's a big, beautiful view. Yeah. And we kept talking about, we're going to try and pull the tree back in or do this or do that or whatever. And he just brought over his 30-30 and laid it out, and it took him about 5 shots. It was, I don't know, like size of a quarter, but he finally trimmed it off. So that's Florida tree trimming there. Everybody knows Florida man. So tree trimming.
Florida man.
Before too long, there ain't gonna be nowhere to go shooting around here unless it's at a gun club.
Yeah.
All right, Stu, I got a question for you here now. Talk about old guns.
Mm-hmm.
John Wayne or Clint Eastwood?
Man, that's tough.
I'm telling you. Neither one of them made a bad movie ever.
No, and I mean, there was, obviously some movies John Wayne was, quicker, but a lot of the time it was just, kind of his personality, and I think that's still probably true today. You guys know as well as I do, it doesn't matter if you're 20 something in a bar or if you just at a gas station now, you can see the guys that are all talk. And then you see that guy like Clint Eastwood. You ever meet someone you shouldn't fuck with? Like, I'm that guy,
Philo Beto. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just, I don't know, man.
I'm going to throw a doozy in there. What about Yul Brynner?
Dude,
he did a lot of Westerns.
That's fair too,
Yeah. But
Steve McQueen.
Yeah.
Sam Elliott.
Yeah, we can't forget about Marshall Dillon.
Who's that?
Marshall Dillon, Gunsmoke.
Yeah.
I mean, that we're talking about him. I think I've seen every episode. Like, I don't know how he doesn't walk, lean to the side, because he's been shot in the shoulder like every other episode.
Every other episode, yeah.
Didn't Charles Bronson do quite a few?
Yep, Charles Bronson. I mean, there's a lot of people that started. What's his name? The guy that was Rascal P. Coltrane. And Boss Hogg. What's his name? The guy that played Archie Bunker. If you look, we watched some old Gunsmoke, dude. That's everybody.
Archie Bunker was in Gunsmoke?
Yeah, he's been in a couple episodes of Gunsmoke or something.
Shit.
Carol.
Leslie. No. Let me Google it.
Oh, I have no idea.
You said Archie Bunker, right?
Yeah, All in the Family, Archie Bunker. It's something Carol. But yeah, he was a I think like the commander of a cav troop coming through Kansas or whatever.
Really?
But something else that same thing, one of these weird conversations. So, like all these Westerns in like say the 50s.
Oh,
so
Carol O'Connor.
That's right. Carol O'Connor. The dude who played Rascal P. Coltrane. And of course, you got Festus. He used to sing for the Sons of the Pioneers.
Yeah.
He's actually
who's the guy? The one guy that was in Smokey and the Bandit. He was driving the truck.
Jerry Reed.
He did the song too.
Jerry Reed. Wasn't it?
No, Jerry Reed sang the song. I don't think was he the driver?
I think so.
Yeah,
thought you pull up that Google again, man.
Yeah.
Who was the driver from Smokey and the Bandit? Well, it was Snowman. Everybody knows that, but I don't remember his real name.
Because then Jackie Gleason was the sheriff.
Mm-hmm. But you figure like 1950s. You got somebody say 70 years old, 60 years old watching TV.
Jerry Reed.
He was he was Snowman.
Cletus.
Yep. Yeah, it's Cletus instead of Snowman, but yeah.
Okay, yeah, it's his real name. I think his radio name was Snowman.
Yep.
Yep.
But yeah, you think say 1950 and somebody sitting down watching TV that's 60, they're born in 1890. Depending where they were.
Shit.
I mean, when they were
Don't go there, Fox.
15 years old in 1905, if they were living,
Shit, Bruce, he's talking about like Iowa in your time.
Yeah. Welcome to Iowa. Set your watch back 40 years. Got it.
You Dust Bowl motherfucker.
But no, I mean, like, somebody sitting down in 1950 watching a Western that's 60 years old, born in like 1890. They were 15 in 1905. Yeah. And I mean, there was still, cowboys, like
real cowboys.
Oh, yeah, especially more out west they were.
Yeah. If you're Texas, Wyoming, Colorado, Montana, there's still parts of like northern California. Well, I guess northeast Eastern California that dudes still ride on horseback. Bishop and Lone Pine, California.
Yeah.
There's still cowboys there, but
Not many.
Idaho,
yeah,
Montana.
Idaho.
Yeah.
Speaking of Idaho,
Oh, most American state right now.
seems to be. Yeah, they passed a lot. Well, did one of the houses pass, or
I think their state senate passed it. Where
they're working on a new law out there to execute pedophiles.
It's passed.
I heard that.
Under 12 years old, I believe. It's
Yeah.
death penalty.
Sweet.
Make it pay per view.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's we'll fund the police's training with that.
Yeah. No, I heard about that the other day. I don't watch much TV, but I get on Instagram, and once I see like apparently this cop that shot some shit up because an acorn hit his car.
Yeah.
I got on my
the
Being
worst.
Libertarian website, and I saw a bunch of memes, and I just asked him, like, look, I don't watch news or TV. What happened? Like 20 people chimed in.
Wham! Yeah.
So,
It hit his car, and then he started shooting at the car. It's like, what?
Yeah, his car.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
what?
Yeah.
2 and 2 with pineapple. I don't know.
I'm the one who does drugs.
Yeah.
Like, come on now, man.
But it's legal in Florida. Fucker.
What's that?
Pot.
No, it's not. It's medical, buddy. I got a whole card and everything. And I get a military discount. And I think I got points. I got a couple points at Sunnyside. I fucking love Sunnyside.
You got that platinum card and shit. Gold membership.
Son, okay, so like dispensaries down here, like you'll get a certain amount over a 35-day period. Like I get 4 ounces in 35-day period of flour. And it's like you go in, you can buy as much as you want, as much as your allotment is. Well, you go in there, you buy a quarter, which is 7 grams. Okay, well, now it's $55, but your veterans discount makes it $43, and then you have points from your previous purchase, like you're at fucking 7-Eleven or something. I get $11 off here or $10 off here. I'm walking out with some decent quality stuff that I know is not tampered with. I get to flirt with some of the cute ladies there, dap up my people. Socialize, and then on the 5-minute ride home, see all the New Jersey and Pennsylvania and New York license plates.
They come all the way down there just to buy weed?
No, they just go down there just to live, I think.
They come down
okay,
here
okay.
to
I think it's just to
fuck
piss
up
off everybody from Florida.
Yeah.
I'm not even from. I'm about to become a Texican, I think.
I don't know about that one.
They're hiring security dudes down there.
I couldn't do it. I'm too self-centered.
He's too much of a bum. He doesn't want a job.
Well, I don't want one either. I mean,
I'm not gonna. Man, I don't want to pay taxes and give it all to Hunter Biden. If anybody's gonna smoke crack off of my money, it's gonna be me, motherfucker.
That's right. And Bruce will take the Parmesan for his pepperoni, sir.
Hey.
If you can find the difference.
Hey, I like pizza.
Speaking of pizza, what's everybody has a vice. We like Hostess or Little Debbie snacks, right? Like a Twinkie, a ho-ho. I like ho-hos. But what's your favorite?
Ho-hos.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I like my women like I like my cars, 25 years old and a shit ton of problems.
Touche.
So
My vice, like my snack,
what's your favorite?
What's your favorite?
Man, I'll tell you what, I went to Tractor Supply the other day. I can't walk out without buying a bag of apple licorice.
Ooh.
Tractor Supply apple licorice. I mean, nothing fancy, probably, I don't know, maybe a little white trashy. And it's always the same. Like, well, I'll just have 1 or 2, and
And the whole bag's
I live
gone.
I live like 40, 45 minutes from a Tractor Supply. And yeah, before I get to the house, it's gone.
It was
Wow,
good.
I'm closer to Tractor Supply than you are.
Yeah, I'm like 25 minutes from a Dollar General. And in Tennessee, you can't you can't throw a fucking cat in Tennessee without hitting a Dollar General.
Don't worry, they'll build one.
Yeah, we're
You're gonna have a neighbor.
like our sunrise is about 25 minutes behind the rest of the states. I'm out in the sticks so far. So, but yeah,
Yeah,
apple
how
licorice
lucky.
is like the shit. I don't buy a lot of candy bars. You ever had a Zero bar? Probably
Those
never
have
seen
coconut in them,
Yeah.
don't they?
No,
No.
they got white chocolate and then kind of like the
Like a nougat.
nougat, I guess, or something,
Oh.
and then nuts in them.
Yeah.
I know I've seen them. I've just never tried one.
It's in
Yeah,
a
that
silver. It's like in a silver.
Yeah, it's like a
with-
white and silver wrapper and
Yeah.
stuff. It's different, most of the time it's like chocolate and nougat, whatever the fuck nougat is. I don't even know. Chocolate nougat, whatever, or plain
Yeah.
chocolate or some shit. Something my grandma, my dad's mom used to, same thing. She wouldn't buy them all the time. She'd buy them and just kind of weird, like this white Snickers bar looking thing. But when I walk by and see them, I usually got to get one.
Might have
So,
to try one.
You like score bars?
yeah, actually I do. That's another
Fucking
one of them.
love score bars.
Little-
Isn't that kind of like a Heath bar?
Yeah, but it's better.
Kind of. Yeah.
That same type though. Okay.
Toffee,
Yeah, it's like a Heath bar, but Americans
Yeah.
buy it.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
Fuck you.
There you go.
More of like a libertarian Republican candy bar, not so liberal.
Oh. Okay.
That hurt.
Shit. Let's go Vivek. I didn't kill myself.
Well, Fox, what were you saying about Nashville? Speaking of politics,
Oh, Jesus
weren't the
Christ.
neo-Nazis marching on
There
Nashville
was a
or something?
neo-Nazi thing. I was checking X, formerly known as Twitter, and
Yeah.
it was neo-Nazis. This is like 4 hours ago in downtown. I forget what the tribe was called. It was like something tribal, some shit. It was really weird. But they were...
I don't know.
It makes me want to not move to Tennessee, Bruce. It makes me scared for my
That's
soul
why I
in
moved
my
the hell
life.
away from Nashville.
Yeah, that's so I'd say about Tennessee. And, I'm not like this lifelong resident. I lived here for a while and then did the big Army tour. My wife's from Middle Tennessee. But yeah, if you'd like slice off Memphis, Nashville, Knoxville, and Chattanooga, like you'd have 2 Democrats left in the state. And that's just because their fucking cars broke down somewhere,
It might have been 8, maybe 10.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But they, I don't know.
We were leaving the VFW last night, right? The fish fry.
Oh, that fish
Right.
looked good.
They had a band inside the bar because we were in the catered hall in the back. They were playing John Denver. I was just like, it's calling my name, West Virginia. Mountain Mama.
West Virginia's not too bad. I went up there for I think we had about 6 weeks, and we did a little training facility. We taught a DDM, designated defensive marksman course, because that's politically correct version. You can't say sniper, but went up there. But there was a chicken plant in town, and you drive by there, and of course it was kind of summertime, and you could smell that thing from like 2 miles.
Horrible, yeah.
But every Friday they'd had like barbecue chicken sale thing out front, and
yeah.
Fresh
I was gonna
shit.
stop, and my partner's like, "Dude, that's the shit that fell on the floor. Like they're trying to sell me. Maybe true, maybe not, but yeah, we never stopped for fried chicken there.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
So the white power neo-Nazi fucking crazy dudes, right? Another little weird story. So no shit, there I was, Cold War era, 1990s. I'm a E5 weapon squad leader, right? And most of the time in the infantry, like your weapon squad leader, your weasel is the senior dude. Like he's already done all the jobs, been a team leader, been a squad leader, moving up, about ready to pin on platoon sergeant. Just so happened we only had 3 E6s. All those E6s that came out of like Lurch units, specialty stuff, like never really dealt with machine guns, where not that I'm old, but I may or may not have carried an M60. So yeah, anyway. So back to my story, I'd actually, carried a machine gun, been ammo bearer and everything. My platoon sergeant's like, "Hey dude, you know about 60s? You're my weapon squad leader." And I'm nervous. I don't want to mess up. He said, "Look, we go to the field, they get sliced off, and the platoon leader owns them, or one goes to first, one goes to third squad. You just kind of hanging out with me." So, which actually really, really helped me later in life when I did become a platoon sergeant, because I kind of learned from this dude, like, "Oh yeah, I remember this. This is where I do this. This is where I do that." So we got the 240s in, and we're gonna have the best machine gun team in the entire 101st Airborne Division. That's right, I did a lot of the 90s at. So these dudes been together for, I guess, basic training, AIT, so on and so forth, and go out and shoot the qual, and they shoot perfect. Like, all right, that's awesome. So we have our like battalion level competition to see who's going to represent brigade. I go over there and, they call off, hey, individual target at 500 meters or 12 o'clock, whatever they did it. The AG's ripping off one round and would hand it to his gunner. Dude would put one round in, pow, drop the target. Not a belt, where in case he missed, he could stitch it up.
Oh.
All right, cool. And if it was like, say 3 targets or whatever, he'd rip off about 5 rounds, give it to him, and they're laying it down, right? So we won, went to represent brigade. Same thing, hey, 1 target, whatever. There's a couple of them, they actually put a little short belt in, but maybe cocky, maybe good. We get ready to go to division, and no shit, there I was. Division sergeant major comes up, and of course, battalion and brigade, and they call it the 1 target, and they rip off 1 round. When division sergeant major's old Vietnam vet, and just feel him like burning, like staring at the back of my head. So they rip a round off, boom. And, he gets a little upset. What are you guys doing? You load your belt, this and that. And our brigade sergeant major's like, hey, just let them do their thing, So they do it, and they win. They get done, and they got like 100+ rounds of ammo left. Hey, sergeant major, where do we turn this in at? We saved you a bunch of money. Just kind of being cocky. So he takes it in good graces, and fast forward, I don't know, 2, 3, 4, 5 months, and we're doing a health and welfare, and you guys have all done that before. They bang on the barracks doors and so on and so forth. So it's kind of I don't know, I think they call it finger drill. You got, guys up there, and there's people in civilian clothes and actual MPs, and they go to like the first room, and they're in and out in about 20 seconds. Like, no, there's no way you really searched it. So they come up to this kid's room, my machine gunner, and they go in there and open the door. Of course, I'm in his chain of command. I'm kind of standing outside, and, I hear a lot of F words and this and that, and platoon sergeant calls me in, and they had flipped his carpet over, a little rug in the middle. There's a swastika drawn on it and some SS stuff in the corner, like made of the marker and shit. They had pulled out like a Mein Kampf and some sort of white power bullshit, Ku Klux Klan, whatever. And platoon sergeant's looking at me, like WTF, and I'm looking at everyone like, what's
Where'd
going
this
on?
come from? Yeah.
So him and his AG had both shaved their heads, but not super uncommon in the 90s. Didn't want to pay for a haircut, they'd shave their heads. So guy, I'm assuming his CID goes, you want to show him your tattoo? So the guy's head's kind of down. He lifts his shirt off. Don't agree with the picture, but it was a quality tattoo. Like the lines, the, whatever. He's got a tattoo on his back. It's Hitler, like in a little balcony, doing the little Sieg Heil, whatever.
Oh, shit.
God
Underneath
damn.
it, German soldiers marching, doing the same thing, the little Sieg Heil, whatever salute thing, all across his back. So they're pretty much like, yeah, dude, you're fucking done. Go away. And of course, the platoon sergeant, like, what the, I speechless.
Never seen his back.
Yeah, sorry. I didn't flip over his rug and look for Nazi propaganda. I didn't really know I needed to do that. And obviously outstanding machine gunners, but not the shit you want in your platoon or your squad or.
Yeah.
I mean, his name wasn't Timothy McVeigh or nothing, was it?
No, I won't say his name. He was.
Yeah, no, Jesus Christ.
He was actually legitimate. I don't know if they carry cards or not, but a Mormon from Salt Lake, which was also kind of a little weird.
Wow.
I thought
a lot of Mormons.
I thought they were like polygamists or something.
I don't know. Well, he was a really big dude. I'm 6'3". Back then, I was like in the 195 pound, and he was probably 6'2", 6'3", about 220. Big old dude. But yeah, Salt Lake City Mormon, and his assistant gunner was from Kansas, a little smaller. But yeah, I just had no idea. But they were tied up with some bullshit KKK white power crap around Fort Campbell. And I guess that's how it linked to them. Well, over the next few weeks, there was a captain or a major or something. There was, a company grade officer that had got caught for it, and then a handful of other enlisted guys.
Wow.
Oh, shit.
And we had like a little, not a safety brief, I guess. But anyway, somebody came in, I guess, from JAG, and they're talking about, yeah, there's 12 or 15 or 20 or whatever it is, like white power, neo-Nazi, skinhead, KKK groups within like 20 miles of the post.
Oh, I wouldn't doubt it.
And it's one of them things you see people and you're like, yeah, okay, he probably is. But if you're not looking for it, maybe you don't really know what you're even looking for.
Yeah, pretty much. God, that's nuts.
So, but yeah, crazy. Like I said, I wasn't like super cool, badass operator, but man, I got some weird stories. If nothing else, it's some weird shit.
Oh Lord, it can't be as bad as VD in a throat.
Oh fuck! Why'd you have to bring that back up?
No, I pretended I didn't hear it, but I actually did. But now,
a couple episodes back, you got to watch. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
One of his guy we interviewed, he was talking about a guy drank a beer and he didn't watch it, and there was an issue with his throat.
You got to watch
it. Thailand, so I can kind of almost imagine.
Yeah, you know what's going on already.
I gotta go brush my teeth. I'll be right back. I just
were you part of 2-1 when they went over to Japan or no?
I was, but I was freshly from London. I was in Beanock, but old Mr. GB, our buddy, your neighbor, he was over there. Yeah. And back when he drank, which he drank, he had a pretty good time. So,
God, whew.
You need to get that dude on the show.
If he'd ever answer his phone.
Well, I have the same problem. He called me around Thanksgiving and we talked for like 2 hours.
Yeah.
Stone sober for like, I think, a year and a half.
Yeah.
But I think he partakes in some of the same, I don't know if they're, maybe it's libations. I don't know. Some of the recreation that Mr. Foxy does, He's
in Virginia, right?
I think so.
Oh, that's
the last place I knew of, but.
Yeah.
Virginia is 100% recreational this year. Or it's already last year it was, yeah. There's a lot
think
of
that's
states.
Where he was living. But he calmed down a lot and everything. He's still the same old GB. He's a little out there. He's like I've always said, he's escargot, man. You love him or you hate him. I love the dude, but he's just like escargot. Sometimes he's a little hard to swallow.
Yeah,
so,
hard as hell to get a hold of. That's for sure.
But he does some really good stories. I don't know if you talked to him when he worked at the Pentagon, but
a little bit, yeah.
Yep. So he showed up in Baghdad airport one day, and I knew he was coming and everything. And not like I'm this super cool badass dude, but I'm a contractor. I mean, I got the little earpiece and wearing my plates and walking around with a beard and shit like that. And I'm waiting for him, and I run over and grab him and give him a big hug. And like all his counterparts are all colonels and generals and bigwigs and
what
stuff.
The hell? Yeah.
They're like, oh, who's this guy?
So, don't worry about it.
Yeah, don't worry about that.
Yeah. No.
The other interesting part, so I got the beard and I got like the long hair and everything.
Yeah.
The last officer,
you still got the hair.
Yeah, you still got about the same amount.
Yeah.
Don't go blind, guys. I don't want to fucking.
You wax that thing, put it up there. So the last officer I worked with, super awesome dude, and he may or may not hold a pretty high position in the United States Military Academy, and I still call him boss. Like I've only called 2 people ever in my life boss, and he's one of them. Like awesome dude, and the whole enlisted officer thing. I mean, we still kind of joke. Amazing dude. Well, he's said, hey, once he gets promoted, he wants me to show up there. He did not say that I needed to get my hair cut or trim my beard. So I'm thinking about, like maybe breaking out some of the old contractor stuff, whatever, and show up. And then, of course, when I meet people, hey, who are you? I'm like, guys, just call me Bob.
Yeah, there you go.
What do you do? Like
I'm a bounty hunter.
And I mean, I'm not really lying because I am a contractor now, but I'm a contractor, like clearing road, building
like construction,
and that kind of stuff. So I'm not lying. So it's just like the guy saying they're SFA team, not SFAT team.
Yeah. God, some people are nuts.
I love watching.
I'm one of them.
Those videos where guys will sit there and they'll try to say like, "Oh, I was here and did this and did that, and the guys are like, so you have on like all this, like all the medals, and it'll be like, well, how do you have the Air Force this, the Navy Cross, and you know, an
Yeah.
ARCOM and AAM, and
Yeah.
oh man, those fucking videos. You ever?
Oh yeah, like the Stolen Valor. So I got
Mhm.
two sidebars on that, right? So a guy I work with, the same guy I was in West Virginia with, he was 20-something years in the Army, pretty much either Ranger Regiment, deployed, or in the sniper world. That was it. Right? Worked at Fort Benning, worked out in Arkansas, this and that. You do your contract, you got to send in your DD-214, or if you're law enforcement, you send in, I don't know, whatever the hell cops have. So he sends it in, and he's Purple Heart guy, and you know, Bronze Star, and a bunch of scare badges, this and that. He had went through the Marine Corps Sniper School, so he was awarded. I think it used to be like 0331 or whatever, but awarded the Scout Sniper MOS, even though he was Army. Well, he helped start up like the first Air Force sniper designated marksmanship program thing. They got dudes that sit on the flight line, I guess, and scan, make sure no one's messing with the planes.
Oh shit.
So for doing that, he got like this Air Force Commendation Medal. So he sends all of his stuff in. And he'd already been contracting since like back in the day, like when stuff was really bad. Sends it in this company, gets a call, and they think he's like Stolen Valor with this Air Force Commendation Medal. So not that, you know, he faked Purple Hearts, Bronze Stars, CIBs, you know, all that. They think he might be Stolen Valor because he has an Air Force Commendation Medal on his DD-214. So pretty funny, and I don't, you know, really church it up and have everything like him. You got to know the dude, but just like, okay, I've got all this stuff, and if anything that I would fake, you know, like,
why would it be that?
Yeah.
just weird.
I like the one. There was a guy. He was in the mall. He was probably about 400 pounds. He looked like Peter Griffin, and it's like he had the Rangers tab, and he deployed with the SF and the Ranger, and he was airborne, and and he had his medals on his ACUs, but he had like a Sergeant Major rank here, and it was like, bro, like, first of all, I know your fat ass ain't no Sergeant Major, like you're 31, you ain't move up that quick.
Jesus.
No running profile really does it to a guy.
Yeah.
Just packed it on. Yeah.
Ask your buddy Bruce about that old Staff Sergeant Householder when he was in charge of, when he was with, I was a maintenance. I was a 91 Bravo. I was a wheel vehicle mechanic.
Okay.
And his platoon, people came into the military with profiles. I swear to God.
What?
It seems, oh God, it was.
Well, they got out of AIT and they had like a running profile.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm just like,
yeah,
how can you ever advance past E4? Like
no running, no walking, eat donuts and no pace type shit.
Yeah. I bet you sit there and work it out.
Yeah. Well, your platoon sergeant, all he could do was to walk. There was nothing else.
Which one? Because they were all like that except for one. You got to remember, I had about 8 platoon sergeants in my time there. I had about 4 first sergeants. I had about 6 commanders total. You know, I had the original when they came back from Iraq. I had Mr. $43. I had
that son of a bitch.
Lieutenant Alstrom. I had Captain Wandenberg, Captain Fred. There was one in between Wandenberg and Fred.
Was there?
Just for a split second, because it was like they were deploying with that flea. So like when they removed him, but
I don't remember.
I had Mr. Eyebrow, you know,
eyebrow, like Bert and Ernie type shit.
This guy, I don't want to say his name because of what happened after the fact.
Yeah, he's that guy with his teeth in his mouth. I got you.
There ain't money left. Yeah.
My other little, like, not really a DD-214 story, but down in Fort Pierce, Florida, I was down there sometime in the
neck of the woods.
Yeah,
down there in the 90s. You been in the SEAL Museum down there?
No. It's closed on Mondays and Fridays, I think. And
that's not the days you run down to the local dispensary to do the fist bump and get the discount and everything, right?
Well, it's an hour down the road. Fort
Oh,
Pierce.
okay. Where are you at now?
I'm in Melbourne, Florida.
No
Space
way.
Coast. I'm about 40 miles. Like I got all
Yeah,
the
like Vero
Rockets.
Beach, A1A, Fellsmere.
Yeah, it's south of me about 30
Yeah,
minutes on the
Cocoa
other side of
Beach.
Palm Bay. That's
Yeah,
north of me. Yeah.
the guy I work with is from Fellsmere.
Okay, that's 30 minutes maybe.
Yeah, you know,
That's 'cause of traffic.
I mobbed around there in the '90s and everything. So kind of the same thing. I flew down there. He was out of the military. I was still in. I flew down for like the weekend or something. Got his cool orange '79 Camaro. Dropped him off at work, and he's like, "Hey, go do whatever." So I go to the SEAL Museum. Walk in, and at the time in I don't know '96, '7, '8, something like that. Everyone that worked there was volunteers except for the guy that actually ran it. It was like a paid position. So I walk in and like it just opened. And there's these two, and I don't want to be rude or nothing, but these two grandpa looking dudes, they're like about 70. And I walk in and they're cussing back and forth like, no, I told you M or F or blah, 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 whatever. So I walk in and they're, oh, hey, good morning. How's it going? Welcome to, Fort Pierce Navy SEAL Museum and everything. And they got some old, like, even though it's like 1943, you can tell it's some old Army or, Navy manual out. And I said, I didn't interrupt you. He said, no, I was telling this dumbass, that the something limpet mines, weighed 26.5 pounds, or they're arguing. And I said, oh, you guys used to be SEALs. And they're like, hell no. We were frogmen.
Yeah.
We ain't no candy-ass SEAL. I'm like, all right, cool. But, I mean, these guys are World War II vets. This is in the 90s. So, like I said, they're
50, 60 years
70.
after.
Yeah. All right, cool. Right on. And some guy comes walking out of the back, and he's, I don't know, probably 50 or something like that. And they're like, that's what a pussy-ass SEAL looks like. And they pointed this dude. I was like, because I'm like an E4 in the Army. I don't know right history. So it's like, how do you respond to that? And of course, this guy's like, yeah, hey, whatever. He goes, hey, today I need you guys to do this, whatever. And he walks back in. And I said, so everyone here is, like SEAL, UDT, Frogman. He goes, yeah, we got volunteers that help out. He's got a paid position. And all right, cool. So I go walking around. It's super cool museum. I ended up actually bringing, super long story, but I got the place I used to live way back in the day at Fort Campbell. It was like third, fourth generation military. I had this big fancy, like Gone with the Wind looking mansion. And then next door to it was a little, tiny little like 2-bedroom, 1-bath house. Name of Campbell, Fort Campbell, Mr. Campbell. It's the same family. Anyway, long story short, once the old man passed away, who was, World War II, Korea, and Vietnam vet, his daughter came up from Nashville, asked if we'd help clean out some of the stuff from the house. It was actually her husband, but had some like old school jungle fatigues, like tiger stripe with a little Zippo pouch, like up on the shoulder, still plastic. But they were like, I don't know, medium regular or small short or whatever. I took them down there and gave them to these dudes, and they put them in a display,
Yeah.
So I'm walking through, checking everything out. They got like real stoner machine guns, which there's not many left. So I come around and meet these guys, and they're fixing up whatever display. And I said something about, you meet guys that are bullshitting or stolen valor or whatever. And one guy's like, oh, tell him about last week. Okay, what happened? So apparently there was an older guy that came in, 70-something years old, and like he's got his wife and kids and grandkids, and you're like 25, 30 people, and they're going through there, and he's pointing at this and pointing at that. And I think he had like a UDT World War II vet hat, like the whole shebang on. So one of these two guys asked him, hey, you're a UDT, you're a frogman? Oh, yes, sir. Well, what class? Oh, class, whatever, like 11-43 or something. Oh, well, follow me. Well, in the back, they had a spot with all the class photos.
Oh, no.
And they had the newer ones from the 90s. Of course, they got the black bars, across their face. And it doesn't say, Bob Johnson from, freaking Cornhole, Iowa or whatever. But it's, picture. But the stuff from, you saw that, right, Bruce?
Well, no, I'm just thinking about Mr. Ohio sitting up there.
Oh, okay.
What the fuck you trying to say?
Anyway, brings him back. He goes, yeah, here's the classes. He said, there's a, like class 1143 or whatever. Where are you at? And this old guy's looking, and he goes, oh, no, I was at sick bay that day. I couldn't make it. And he goes, that's funny. He goes, because that's fucking me. The guy that was working there was in that class.
I bet you that guy took off.
Well, no. And he goes, oh, no, I was in sick bay. And he goes, so who's that? And he started pointing people out in the picture. He's like, oh, that's, Bill Smith from Austin, Texas. And this is Jim Jones from, wherever. And this is this. And he's like, I don't know who the fuck you are. You're full of shit. You are no fucking in front of his, entire family.
Oh, God.
Oh, man.
And part of me kind of felt bad, but at the same part, it's like, dude, you had multiple opportunities to not lie and do the right thing.
Mm-hmm.
Whether you were, I don't know, whether you made pancakes on a fucking boat in World War II or whatever. You went over there. Cool. Good on you.
Yep.
But it was,
that
would definitely be a life-changing event,
Yeah. Oh, God. Yeah. Getting slapped down in front of everybody.
God.
But he's like, that's me, and I don't know who the fuck you are. He said, yeah, that dude just kind of like grabbed his family and went on out the door.
Oh, hell,
How do you leave from that? Okay, well, we got to go.
He's like, oh, no, don't worry about him, kids. He's crazy, old full of shit guy.
He's lying.
But when the dude pointed to his picture, and I remember if it was like a jawline or cheek, but there was something you could, and it wouldn't be 100%, but you could kind of look at that picture of the guy that was like 20 something, look at this dude and go, yeah,
that's probably you. Yeah.
In resemblance, But yeah, that's like the whole Stolen Valor thing. That's like the favorite story I've ever heard.
Oh man,
pretty fucking good.
There's some crazy ones out there, I bet too.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
I like
especially
watching...
after all that crap that just happened. There's got to be a million people saying, "Oh, I was there," and then bullshit.
Yeah. Well, that's why you always start every story with no shit. There I was, up to my knees in fucking brass and pole pins, just throwing them grenades, jumping around.
Everybody wants to punch a Nazi, at Normandy. That's because that's what the movies project it to be. Everything's got to be Lone Survivor, American Sniper. Everything's got to be Hamburger Hill or
Same thing. So you guys seen the movie Fury?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck yeah.
So awesome movie, like really cool. And I wasn't in World War II. I think Bruce, you came in at the tail end, right? You're kind of a lot older than me.
I ain't that much older than you, buddy.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
He got you on that one, you son of a bitch.
Hey, don't worry. I got that one, buddy. High five. So maybe World War II tankers were that way. But I remember like JRTC in the 90s and like no shit, they would put MREs and trash bags and stuff and put them in their barrel, put a powder charge behind them and shoot it and just disintegrate it. Because they didn't want to get out and like find a fucking trash bag.
I wouldn't doubt it.
Oh, yeah. JRTC was horrible.
Like I got it, Brad Pitt Fury, and there's like supposed to be some realism behind it. But yeah, from 1945 to, I don't know, we'll just say 98.
1999.
Man.
It's a real big difference in what tankers are,
Tankers are lazier than truck drivers. And that's saying something.
You're pushing your luck.
No.
I like
not a flatbedder.
Flatbedders real truckers now.
Shit.
Can I go pee and like you guys talk?
Yeah.
Or just like grab a bottle and just not let somebody see it, or?
Oh, you can do it that way.
We can
okay,
keep this
I don't know what. It's my first podcast. I don't know podcast etiquette. So.
Yeah, don't worry, we got to.
It was like right around the corner, so we're good.
Hell, I thought you just went halfway and reeled it out for the rest of it.
I got like 6 empty Coors bottles. I just aimed at it. I got it pretty close. Sure glad I had 6, because if I only had 5, it would have been nasty.
Yeah, Nicky, whoop your ass.
Movie Dumb and Dumber when he was pissing in all the beer bottles. Hey, Tops, take it.
Yeah, absolutely.
The guy drinks it.
Oh.
So, yeah, I didn't know that like podcast etiquette. I don't know much about it. I tried to watch some of your guys' podcasts. Nikki, my wife, had told me about a week and a half ago, Bruce, about it.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So she looks it up, sends me a little link, and I started watching. I was out in the shop and got about 2 minutes into it, and then whatever happened. And then I went back to it a couple days later and kind of the same thing. And then now, like, he had just talked to me a few minutes before this, and I was like bidding a job for the company me and my buddy got. And I just looked at my phone. I'm like, oh shit, I gotta get home. Luckily, it's like a half mile away, 3/4 mile away. And I just put my phone back in my hoodie and it rings. And I'm like, oh, it's Bruce. And this guy's like, so for 5,500, like, what do I, oh, dude, we just went through this. So I like did the little silence thing. And I'm like, you get this, and we do this, and we do that, and whatever. And I left and I called Bruce back and I'm trying to back up and talk on the, no, I'm sorry, my hands-free device. I was trying to back up and all that sort of stuff. So,
See, what we're actually going to do is we're going to release this on Tuesday.
okay.
We do it at 06 and then was Thursday, same thing. So we'll have something else. We're kind of, I'm going to I'm going to cut this up a little bit. I'm going to put it on TikTok, try to make us famous. We're big X fans, formerly known as Twitter, because Elon is the most American person.
He's the
most American, non-American born person there is.
Yeah, South Africa, stand up.
The richest African American on the planet, probably.
Yeah, he's the greatest African American on the planet.
Dude, I saw a little thing. Like I said, I got Instagram, that's it. And I started it fucking like a long time ago. The wife set me up for it because it's easier just to upload, kids playing sports and whatever.
Yeah.
You try and email them and text them and shit. Being overseas takes forever.
Yep.
Like anything else, you're like, okay, there's more than just me looking at my wife's profile. So now I got like gun stuff and rodeo stuff and Harleys and being libertarian page and stuff like that. And it kind of opens up your mind. So the old being libertarian page, I think was had one with Stephen King. It says something about, why do you have to brand everything with your name, Elon Musk, blah, blah, blah. So he put up about 6 pictures of Stephen King books and like giant with this tiny little title. And he's like something about, maybe because I've, a narcissist or whatever, but it was just one of those, he put it pretty eloquently, but at the same time, he just like dick punched,
he's digging that salt into the wound.
He just like straight up, bam. But everyone, 99% of people just read it and went, touche, sir.
Yeah.
Score is 1-0. It's yours, sir, Mr. King.
Speaking of Harleys, you still got a bike?
I've got that 56 pan shovel suicide shift, almost real panhead. The Street Glide, I don't remember that one.
Mm-mm.
So
I just remember Harley. I never really.
It was like the old man bike. I got that in California. I sold it to my brother-in-law. He's always wanted a Harley, had some Suzukis or Yamahas or whatever. Gave him a pretty good deal. Told him straight up, like, look, dude, I ain't been on it in like a year and a half. Check the tires, change all the fluids and everything. And he's just, man, happier than a pig and shit. Just loves it. Every time he sees me, he gives me a big hug. Man, I just love that bike, man. But yeah, I got that old pan shovel sitting in my father-in-law's place. And I got about, this much more money than this much more time. But I'll bring it up here eventually and get it roadworthy. But that's the foot clutch, hand shift, jockey shift, suicide shift, whatever you want to call it.
You got to do it like a thing. Oh, fuck that.
Yeah, I'm just thinking about somebody's relative. Goes and buys a Harley.
Oh, Jesus Christ, Bruce. This man, he's trying to start shit.
Come on, Foxy. Tell him.
I'm in this motherfucker's spare room. He's trying to get me kicked out so I can come live on your land and be the Yeti of the North. You just want your bungalow built?
As long as you cut down a bunch of trees, I don't care.
Hey,
no, but oh boy, got some money for something.
So somebody, I love you, Mom. He got some money, ran into wanted a motorcycle, went and got a 8/8, a 1200.
1200 sporty.
Yes.
Okay.
Blacked out, murdered flat. It was beautiful.
Nightster. Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what TV still rides, I think.
Iron.
Oh, an iron. Yeah, like an iron 1200, iron 883,
something
whatever.
Like that. Yeah. Beautiful bike. And if he had ridden it, it had been like 30, 40 years, since.
Oh, I think I kind of see where this is going, but please continue.
No, you don't. This is gonna be there's a curveball.
We have a Harley shop right around the corner, and they have big functions all the time. First day, that was it. Couldn't fan the clutch, couldn't do nothing. Go home, never learned. Bought a brand new bike, never learned how to ride the motherfucker.
It's just still sitting there, huh?
I don't know where it's at first.
No license, no nothing.
Yeah.
That's legit right there.
I've had my motorcycle license out 16.
Yeah.
It's my dad. He was like, "Hey, it's fucking free for you. You might as well get it."
Heck yeah. Dude, when we lived in Alaska, Bruce, you knew you could get like your pilot's license at like 14 or 15 or something.
Oh yeah.
You could get your car license till you're like 16.
Yeah. Yep.
Because, people living in the bush, they had, kids, and of course, they like commute to school or whatever. And, I got it. Like when you're flying around up here, there's, way less chances of hitting shit in the sky. But then again, if you're not paying attention, texting, doing like dumb teenage shit, and you decide to like go down this way. So
when you're way up here, you're pretty safe. But when you're down here, right next to the ground, that's when it gets a little hairy, I think.
Yeah. And I really still don't even know how to feel about that. I mean, I guess that's how I did like close air support and artillery, like little big, little bitty bullet and big old sky, and like cross your fingers. And
yeah.
But I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, it's just like back home. You got all these 16-year-old kids, just a regular driver's license, driving trucks back and forth from the freaking elevator legally.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
As long as you're on farm truck, you can do it.
You talking about that back then in Iowa, buddy?
Yeah, Bubba.
Yeah.
Look here, Mr. freaking Youngstown, Ohio.
Yes, sir.
Youngstown.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
It's like football or baseball or basketball or softball Hall of Fame or something, isn't it?
No. The Football Hall of Fame is in Canton, about an hour and a half away.
Okay, same state, different city.
Yeah.
What's Youngstown? Isn't Youngstown famous for something?
Yeah, a lot of drugs and crime.
Shithole.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, it's famous for being like garbage.
Al Bundy, motherfucker.
Al Bundy, that's okay.
Kelly Pavlik, Ray Mancini.
Who's Kelly Pavlik?
He was a boxer, middleweight boxer.
Okay.
Ray Boom Boom Mancini.
Okay, I know who that is.
He killed a guy in the ring. That's how bad motherfucking ass he was.
Al Bundy or
no, Ray Boo Boo Mancini.
I ain't had that much whiskey yet.
Al Bundy killed his career.
Okay,
That's the kind of dad we need in America right now. Him and Red Foreman.
Yo,
Grandpa Archie Bunker. I'm trying to think of what else came out of Youngstown. Jim Trafficant. Jim Trafficant. He was a politician who got caught. He was a sheriff back in, I think, the 80s. Went after the mafia in Youngstown because they was out of Cleveland and Pittsburgh. Went after them. Said, we're going to kick their asses. And da-da-da. Was on tape. Like, all right, look, guys, here's how I'm going to come after you. You know, like, totally dirty. Went and defended himself. Ended up going to prison. And then come back out of prison and became a fucking congressman for our state.
Of course.
And it's like, yeah, hey, the people, like, you got to listen to the one podcast. I think it's The Green Triangle or something like that. It's a podcast. They did over 10 episodes. It was just like the people getting the feedback from him. They're like, you know what? He fucked up, but at least he admitted to it. Yeah. It's like, you got a point. You know,
you're like, what? How? That's another one of the 2 and 2 equals pineapple type thing. You're like,
he admitted his son was smoking crack in Ukraine with cheap hookers, at least.
Yeah. Like, okay.
Oh Lord.
Yeah, I can't buy a hooker because I ain't got $20 to do it. Or crack.
Wonder which would be cheaper.
What's that?
Wonder which would be cheaper, the hooker or the crack?
Well, it depends. Do you want chlamydia? Because then the hooker would cost more.
Oh, so another sidebar, since we're talking about hookers and such.
Oh, shit. This one could go the wrong way.
No shit, there I was. Fort Lewis, Washington, 2000 something. Starting a unit. I requested a unit of action, and it was going to be a unit of action in a few years, but that's a whole other sidebar or whatever. So I get down there. I'm like legitimate the 7th person in the battalion. Right, this is a striker unit. I've been in striker units. They're like a shitload of people. There's like more than light infantry units and everything because you got a bunch of weird shit. So I'm the 7th freaking dude there. Like our, I guess our senior officer in theory, reality, whatever, is the battalion commander, but he's also a 2nd lieutenant. The senior NCO in our unit of 7 people, who should be the sergeant majors, and he's 7, right? Bunch of staff sergeants, bunch of them wearing EIBs and CIBs, and dude with a CIB is like, yo, dude, I'm the S1. Aren't you infantry? Yep. All the way down there, like, you're S3. I'm like, schools, land, ammo. Like, no, dude, you're everything. Like, you can be the S3 sergeant major if you want. I mean, we don't have an officer. You want to be the S3? Cool, And then we had a chemical guy, and he was smarter than us infantry dudes. So they made him like the S6 combo guy. So as we start filling up, all these guys are in processing through the S3 shop. And it's me, and eventually I, was smart enough to like find a couple guys, kind of like Saving Private Ryan, somebody that can type and speak. They're working for me, and they're just nugging out, because we got to create everything, SOPs, and how do we do this, and how do we do that, and fucking schools forms. And I just went around to other S3 sergeant majors, and I'm like, hey, I'm the S3 from this 2-1 infantry, and well, why didn't your boss come over? I'm like, oh, you don't get it, bro. Like, it's me and a couple of E4s that got computer skills. So I took everything they had and chopped it up and mashed it, and kind of created my own product. But for my penance, I got to move on to bigger and better things. But I met like 85% of these kids coming through. So I stopped over at staff duty before I leave, and stop in, make sure everything's good. And there's this young kid looks like he's about 12, but he's like 19, I guess. And he's just sweeping the floor and coming back in, getting a rate. He's on extra duty. So I said, well, what'd you do? And he said, well, it's a long story. I said, oh, it's Friday night. I'm in no hurry. Let's hear it. So he goes, well, Sarnt, because I guess that's a real thing is Sarnt. So, well, Sarnt, he said, I was up in, I don't know if it's Tacoma, Seattle, whatever. And I got in trouble for soliciting a hooker. Okay, that sounds bad. I said, was she good looking, like really hot? Oh, yeah, she was gorgeous. I'm like, the gorgeous ones are always cops. They're not that shit's. I mean, come on, we all seen cops and everything like that. We know. I said, oh, okay, well, that's not good. And so anyway, the kid that's sitting there, that's actually on staff duty, goes, tell him the rest. I'm like, what's the rest?
Oh God, it was a dude.
Well, so I got a DUI too. Well, that's not good, but I can see it. You try and pick up a hooker as a cop. I'm like, you smell like alcohol, blowing this thing. I said, yeah, that sucks, man. I'm sorry to hear that. This E3 or E4 or staff dude's like, tell them the rest. So finally, I'm like, dude, tell me everything. I said, I'll find that out or whatever, but I'd like to hear your side of the story. So basically, this kid who was married, his wife was pregnant, takes his wife's car. He doesn't have a driver's license. Takes his wife's car that doesn't have insurance on it. He lives on post. He's got one of his guns in the trunk that isn't registered on post. Goes up to Seattle, Tacoma, whatever, and solicits a hooker. Well, he's been drinking. So end of the day, the score is soliciting a prostitute, DUI, driving without a license, no insurance. Uncle Sam gets involved, and then he's got a firearm that obviously came from his on-post residence that's not registered there. So he's like, dude, like, you making a bet? Did you bet somebody? Like, no, and I can fuck up. No, let me tell you, $100, I can make the biggest fuck up ever. So, but yeah, that really happened. And later on, I talked to his platoon sergeant and everything, and asked him. And he goes, no, that's real. He wasn't even lying. That's a real thing.
It's like $5 foot long Dale, Big Dick Dale. I was I was working towing when I was in Louisiana, and I was in Scott, Louisiana. We had this guy. He was a drug addict. He was on them opiates. Now, when he was sober, he would do the paint, and I mean, he could pinstripe it. I mean, it was beautiful. The guy was a very gifted guy. When he was on that shit, he would pick up a sander and look at it for like this, and he'd look at you, and it's like, go away, bro. Like, just go away. he was sitting in the he was.
Oh,
Your internet did it again. What happened now?
We're fighting through it. I'm losing. We're good, Bruce. There we are.
Are we? Okay.
Goddamn spectrum.
Big Brother's trying to spy on him.
Oh, probably.
Fucking ATF. Oh, but Dale was trying to get these stolen tools, sell them to a cop that was doing stings that were undercover. He didn't know that they were undercover cops. And the cops were like, man, just go away with that stolen shit. We don't care. He goes, I'll suck your dick. They're like, really now? Come on now. That's how they got him. Like, drug money, bro.
Oh, yuck.
Every time, when you see Dale at, Waffle House or something, man, what you want to eat, bro? I got you. I ain't giving you no money because you're going to go suck some dick anyways. It was brutal. He was such a nice guy.
God, that's just wrong.
Oh, yeah.
What part of Iowa did you say he was from?
Probably just west of there, over there in the Dakotas.
Oh, God. That was some coon asses down there in Cajun country.
Oh, yeah. I have, I think it was 11 or 12 rotations to JRTC, right? So, a lot of them, actually, when I was a Rockasan, love that unit 187th. We went 2 times in the same year. We went in I think it was February, and then something happened, and we luckily grabbed the spot to go in August or September or something.
Yay.
Oh, hot weather training.
Oh.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I mean, I've been there pretty much every month out of the year, and Louisiana doesn't have a nice season. I mean,
no. Well, there's about 4 or 5 days in May.
No, I mean, it's not bad, and it's not really that bad. Mardi Gras is not that cold.
Yeah.
So from February to April, then it gets stupid muggy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's humid and wet. We were there that one February, and it was getting down 45 degrees and just raining. And it's one of the things 45, 48 is not that bad until you're soaking wet, and you walk however many miles and ain't slept, and you're living on freaking number 4 omelet and ham and shit.
Oh.
So I got a duffel bag from back in the day, old school duffel bag, and JRTC across it, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 / 1, 2, 3, 4. We used to go to Fort Knox, Zussman City, which once that was fully built, they're like, nah, this is just special ops. You little standard Army peons don't get to use it. But I had Zussman City marks and a couple other little things. But I wrote it on, and I'm some old cool World War II guy.
Yeah.
So my daughter's Army Reserve PSYOPs, right? She went to JRTC. It's a couple years ago, her first one, and it was a kind of an eye opener. And Bruce, you know my daughter, and I mean, last time you seen her, she's 5'11" and a half, blonde, 145 pounds. When she was a teenager, she modeled. But at the same point, she kind of has my attitude,
No.
She was complaining about JRTC when she came back. She was there with the Arkansas Infantry National Guard. It's oh my God, how come every infantryman is not locked up for war crimes? Going on this and this happened, and they shot up half the damn village just because they took a sniper shot and whatever. She just tore up. So, well, at least it was training cool. Well, the next year, same thing. They're like, hey, you're going to JRTC again. And she was like, oh, God, Dad, I can't believe I'm going to Fort Polk, Louisiana. I went and grabbed that duffel bag. And I said, why don't you use Dad's duffel bag? There's more space than these new ones. Okay. So she packed her stuff in there, and then I happened to point at the bottom. I'm like, see right here? Well, what's that? I'm like, JRTC, and whatever is 11 or 12 times. I'm like, once you get half that, then you can cry to me. But until then, I don't want to hear it. I'm just
God.
not here,
Get stationed there. God.
Oh, I couldn't imagine.
6 years.
It was awful.
6 years at Polk?
Same company. Same platoon. Same squad, pretty much.
Did you lose a bet, or what's the deal, man?
No, God hates me. I'm on the anthill, and he's a big kid with a fucking
magnifying glass.
Yeah.
Fort Johnson.
When I was in AIT, at Jackson, they're like, the guy's like, I'm from New Orleans. The first song, he's like, every fucking post is great, but Fort Polk, if y'all get stationed there, y'all probably either commit suicide or get kicked out. And I'm like, Jesus.
Yeah.
Oh.
My first rotation was in 2009. I played not opposition force, Iraqi army. I looked like this for about a month, and it was with the striker unit. The second time was with one of the infantry units. I forget who. I've done 6 rotations out there, playing Afghan army.
Dude, I mean, if you were stationed there, that counts for 9 million rotations.
Oh, it was horrible.
They would always go to, hey, we need somebody to go out there with 6 guys. You're E4 promotable. I'm like, yes, I will go out there for 2 months. Mm-hmm. Yes, send me, because I ain't gonna do with you assholes. I'll have pizza and beer brought in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that is true. I guess you go to the field, it's like a vacation. I bet.
Well, from our company, anything was.
Oh, it was horrible. Yeah.
I stayed back in Wyoming for an extra week just to get it. I was with Bruce just to stay with all that bullshit.
Still not happy about that one.
Where'd you guys go in Wyoming? The training center out there?
Guernsey.
Yeah, Camp Guernsey, bro. Mm-hmm. So I started out in the old Nasty Girls National Guard, whatever. Long story. I wanted to be a Marine since I was about 4.
Really?
Yeah.
So you were always crazy a little bit?
It was
Yeah,
always
it's always
off.
been just a little off. No, I had a cousin that was, I don't know, like he would have been 14, 15 years older than me. Anyway, his mom and dad were going through like tough times, divorce, this and that. So he went and kind of stayed with my mom and dad, and they had a farm at the time and working out there. And of course, I, met him when I was 1, 2, 3, 4, something like that. Didn't really remember him. So he goes off, joins the Marines, comes back, and knocks on the door at my parents' place. And I open the door, and I'm like 4, 4.5. And of course, he probably had like one ribbon and one little, goofy marksmanship badge. But when you're like 4 and there's this big, tall freaking Marine there, like, dude, that's the best shit since fucking ice water. And comes in, he's talking to my mom and dad and everything. And then as he's doing his time, comes back, to the middle of nowhere, North Dakota, and he's showing my dad, like some of the pictures he's taken. And, I get to look at some of them, and they're doing, cool stuff around helicopters. And there's a bunch of, chicks in bikinis, and there's a bunch of stuff that like 5, 6-year-old kids shouldn't see that Marines are doing to, other girls. So I'm like, fuck yeah, I'm gonna be a Marine, bro. This is where it's at. So the North Dakota Army National Guard recruiter comes in one day, and there was a couple guys in like year ahead of me, year behind me that were looking at doing it. So the school principal secretary comes in and goes, hey, the National Guard recruiter's here if you guys want to go talk to him. I'm in English class, droning out, old school, no air conditioner, about dying. I'm like, fuck, I'll go. Right on.
Get me out of here.
Yeah. So I go over there, and he's like, oh, hey, introduce himself. And I'm like, no, I'm about to be a jarhead, dude. I really don't want shit to do with it. I just don't want to be in English, He's like, oh, man, let me tell you, we can offer you. I'm like, no, dude, 0311 all the way. I want to be like the dregs of the earth, like the salt of the earth, just dregs of society. I want everyone to hate me and envy me. 0311. So he's talking, hey, man, you can do the split op thing. You go to basic between your junior and senior year. You do your senior. You go to AITs. Like, the state can release you to go to the Marines. And he didn't lie. They could. But they fucking didn't. So, I went from October, the year I graduated, until, like, I don't know, June of the next year, like 4187, service member request joining United States Marine Corps, 0311, whatever. A couple of weeks to come back, boom, denied.
No.
Like, let's do that shit again. And it just kept going. I'm like, dude, I'm not super smart, but we done about 10 of these fucking things. So kind of joined the Army active and, went from there.
Fell into it.
So,
At Guernsey, Wyoming, that was the training. Our unit, everything about our unit was like just dysfunctional.
Yeah.
But when we got to stay, it was like me, you. I think there was like 8 of us or 4 of us from our company that stayed, but there was 2 from each.
Me, you,
school.
Losi, and somebody else. I don't know.
Somebody else, yeah.
Lieutenant.
Marriott. Maybe, yeah.
I don't know.
I know I was a low man on Topol, but then they took us to Fort Laramie for the day.
Yep.
Okay.
That shit was cool.
Did you guys? Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh no, that was always a time. I just remember like that. I tell everybody when you volunteer for dumb shit in the military, like, hey, do you want to pull rear D, fucker? Sergeant Rod. Yes, y'all are taking my weapon back. Y'all are taking my SI back. Y'all are turning it in. I'm getting a 4-day when I come back, and we got another 4-day. So it's like,
all I know is we landed Friday night, and I drove out Saturday night for freaking Beanock.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. They really helped me out. Yeah.
You're welcome.
You were never liked in that unit.
Oh no, they hated me from the day. They hated me in Sanders from the day we showed up. Yep.
Yeah,
Did you guys stop at Mule Creek Junction, Wyoming, or is that just something for North Dakota National Guard coming down?
I couldn't tell you where we.
So it's like something out of like a Quentin Tarantino movie or some shit. We pulled up, of course, we're convoying and we got all of our, I was a combat engineer unit, but it was like when I went to join, because I just wanted them like, all right, cool, check the block. Maybe I'll go in the Marines as an E2. And I wasn't even worried about infantry. I'm like, there's this unit over here that's close. Like, what do they need? And they're like, they need mechanics. I'm like, fuck, I'll be a mechanic, cool. But we stopped in this place in Wyoming called Mule Creek Junction. And it was, like I said, it's like a Quentin Tarantino movie or whatever. There's just a couple houses, like this little 4-way stop sign in the middle of nowhere, gas station, no fucking gas. But they had an old gas pump from like, I don't know, 1940 something. But you went in and there was like the gas station, and then right next to it was like this cafe, and then like right next to it was a post office. You just walk kind of, through the doors to all of them and everything.
No shit.
There's population, I think like 16 or something. Middle of nowhere.
Sounds like home.
Always been like my goal. Like, man, I want to go back. I'm like, I want to run for fucking mayor, dude. Like Mule Creek Junction, Wyoming. I mean, I think I can handle business in Mule Creek Junction.
Yeah, it can't be that tough.
Yeah.
What was that?
Cool.
Remember Larry the Cable Guy? He had a show, and because he was from Nebraska, there was a lady in Nebraska. She was the mayor, the police chief,
the
treasurer.
judge, and the fucking
she had
county
like 9
clerk.
titles.
Yeah.
And that was because I think there was like 150 people originally in the town. Then just over time, people moved out because there wasn't shit. And it's like, I mean, you're running a town with one person. You're getting state funding. Like, I would be dishonest. I'm gonna be honest about it. I'm gonna be dishonest.
Hey, Stu, what's 2 words you'll never hear driving across Nebraska? Oh, look.
That is true. Yep. You drive in, or like it says, Nebraska, home of the, and it's just dot.
Corn.
Yeah, everything from St. Louis on, man. Nothing until you get to the Rockies.
So that
corn, soybean.
That Larry the Cable Guy. So like in the 90s, the same dude I'm working with now, right? Like Army buddy of mine, fucking awesome dude. We're driving down to Florida, and I'm from North Dakota, small town. Like I've been over to Montana to see my relatives. We go up to Canada for, cattle sales and things like that. But that's about it. I'm pretty fucking sheltered. Good life, but fairly poor and everything. Join the Army and get to see a few things. And he's talking about going to Florida. He's talking about hog hunting and deer hunting and fishing. And I'm like, I'm taking it with a grain of salt. Like, man, it's a bunch of old fuckers. And then Disney, that's it. The big Mickey Mouse hat. That's all you got in Florida. Yeah. We're driving down there and we got a late start. So we're rolling in at like the butt crack of dawn. And one of the local radio stations, he's listening to it. Of course, he's from the area. He's tuning the radio. He goes, oh, dude, listen to this guy. He's funny as shit. And it sounds like somebody that like you just woke up that had been drinking for about 10 hours. And it's that whole, hey, what do you want? And 90, I don't know, probably 5 or 6 or something. And they're like, Larry, how's it going? He goes, oh, geez, yeah. He goes, what is this, Russia? It's Larry the Cable Guy. In like, it was like 95, 96, something like that. And I don't know if I don't think he was living in Florida, but it was actually like a rock station, not really a modern, more of a classic rock station. But I guess before they could even, sort of, sometimes they do it live, sometimes they blurt it out. But I mean, he would say cuss words on there, and the same thing. There was a couple times driving down there. He'd say, that dumbass, or that son of a bitch, or something. And I'm just looking at my buddy Travis, like, what? And he goes, yeah, they're getting FCC fines. He goes, but dude, I'm telling you, people love this guy. They don't care. It's one of those things like $5,000, whatever. Take it. We're making money. Mm-hmm. Okay, well then you start seeing Larry the Cable Guy. Like I'm dating myself now. Cassettes. But at the same time, Jeff Foxworthy was coming out, like at the truck stops and gas stations. And then, same thing. Like he got out, and I kind of kept going with my career. I didn't really go to Florida a whole lot and everything. Next thing I know, like fucking cable TV and all this stuff. There's Larry the Cable Guy. What? Dude, I remember that guy when they called him and woke him up drunk in bed. I mean, you can't fake that. Like I know what it's like to talk to somebody that just woke up.
Oh yeah,
10-hour bender. Yeah, I've been that guy. So
that's not his real accent, is it? Larry the Cable Guy. I don't think that was his. Like that really.
No, he puts it on kind of heavy, but he does have I've heard him on different shows. He's got a little bit of a twang. Yeah, but no, he's definitely got
heavy as he makes
accent.
Yeah. Well, you got to make it a selling point.
Yeah.
Yeah,
some kind of gimmick.
But I remember they used to do the toddler mail and stuff like that, and it was just some of the stuff back then. I remember like if you do it now, people would just it's like sit down a 21-year-old and make him watch Blazing Saddles unedited.
Oh my god, they would lose their freaking mind.
You remember Blazing Saddles, right?
Oh god, yes.
Yeah.
With Gene Wilder, who was the black guy?
Like go take. My dying bed, I'd go to like a liberal arts college, take hostages. Like I don't want no money. I'm not going to kill no one. You guys are watching Blazing Saddles. You're going to watch it. There'd be people crying and safe spacing, and like that's back when we were thick-skinned. Same way. All in the Family, Archie Bunker.
Oh
same
Lord.
Way. Just I mean, it was off color, but it was still comedy.
Hell, George Jefferson was just as bad.
Oh hell yeah.
Yeah. Sanford and Son.
Yep. Yeah, he was
that's brutal right there.
Dude, I love them shows.
They were great.
Yep. I mean, I guess people just pull the happiness and the comedy out of it, and they kind of well,
everybody's feelings count now. So everybody has to be coddled, and it's kind of like, well, like sometimes you gotta get punched in the mouth to understand the repercussions and things of what you could or couldn't say, and
Yeah.
I think I was at the end of it because I remember getting cracked in 6th grade, and I was like, man, I ain't saying shit else if I'm getting that. At least not tither,
Yeah, that's that whole was it Mike Tyson? Everybody's got a plan until they get punched in the mouth type thing,
Yep.
And that was and Bruce knows our oldest. She was in a kind of high-end, $50-something a year liberal arts college in Lexington. And she went there because they had a bunch of study abroad programs. And Dad said from the beginning, like, you know what, my daughter's still not really conservative. She's kind of like me, libertarian. You don't need 80,000 non-essential employees in government and this and that. But I told her, like, these aren't your people. The second year she was there, she got to live and study in France, and that was cool, Came back, and there was a he, him, he, sure, her, Zims, or whatever. But it was a dude. It was a guy that could stand up to pee, a person that could stand up to pee that joined her sorority. And that was, and she's nice and she's respectful.
In Lexington,
Kentucky.
I'm just thinking of that from Ted, where he was like, "There's no dude, there's no chicks with tits. It's only dudes with tits."
Yeah, but she had a guy, and of course it was one of them ones, like dare me, but join her sorority. And there was fraternities on post. Like I could see, like somebody's like, man, I want to be a Greek alphabet person, and all they got is this. But no, there was like basically Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts. But this dude's like, no, I'm gonna join the Girl Scouts. And she was nice and respectful about it, but she's like, you know what? Nah.
Maybe not, yeah.
Yeah, and over in Knoxville, loving life. And the other thing, too, was... small classes.
For you, too,
Yeah, small classes and everything. But if you didn't align with that group's way of thinking, you're just ostracized.
Oh,
you know what I mean? Yeah, you can't learn nothing. I mean, even if you don't agree with it, all right, let me hear why you think, whatever, I don't know, child molester should be set free with no penalty. Like, I'm probably not going to agree with it, but I will listen to what you have to say, and we'll discuss it rationally, But, yeah, if you weren't, pro-LGBT or pro-Hamas or anti-this or anti-whatever, she said, there's people that would just scream and cry and run out of the room. She's like, you can't learn like – yeah. She's like, you can't learn like this. And I'm like, no, absolutely.
Sure she wasn't at Berkeley.
No, it was pretty. They call it the Harvard of the South,
Oh,
the school she went to, and it's. I mean, it really was sad because it was small classes. The campus, I think, had 1,200 students, but it was, it was one of those things. Yeah, it was one of those things that, like 80-90% of the people aligned with, and it was mostly liberal ideas. And even just for, play the devil's advocate. Okay, I got it. A should equal B, but what if A equaled C? And I mean, people would just lose their mind. Yep. Even if it was just a discussion like, okay, well, A equals B is not perfect. A equals C it's a little bit off, but let's find a common ground. Let's find some common sense. And
when I was in college back in the 90s, my freaking history professor was 19. Just right. Fuck you. Anyway,
hi Foxy, what's up, bro?
I got that.
Yeah.
Anyway, the college professor was talking about how great communism was, and all you had to do was 5 years, and the whole communism 5-year plan was just like going to college for 5 years, and you're gonna have such a better life afterwards, and all this other shit. I'm like, what the hell?
That's just like that movie Oppenheimer. I watched that shit last night because it's on
Tik Tok.
But it seems like a lot of like intelligent people. It's like they all think like this is how you should live because in theory something might sound great.
Oh, on paper, that's just
communism rocks on paper.
When it never really worked. Yeah.
And that's PowerPoint slide, dude. Communism's the shit.
And they don't get it. Like it's like you're a theorist, so you've never been punched in the mouth because you've been writing stuff down, and so you don't know. Like you write it down, but it's like man, out there practically, you're the one getting fucked up out there.
Exactly. So I got to go to a communist country in 2004. When a POW MIA mission thing, in my opinion, the only thing Bill Clinton did worth the crap when he was president, he created the Joint POW MIA Accounting Command, JPAC. They're based out of Hawaii, small unit that's like there all the time. And after that, they kind of bring in specialists depending where they're going. And well, Bruce knows GB, our buddy. Yeah. He got to go to the Himalayas. World War II, they call it flying the hump. So they'd have these cargo planes flying the hump, flying over the Himalayas to bring in, whatever, not MREs, like C-Rats, machine gun ammo, I don't know, dirty books and beer, something like that. And when it went down, the same thing. It was, they kind of knew the area, but just didn't have the technology and this and that. So he went up there he was gone a month and a half, 2 months. And they dug out this old cargo plane, got the actual, servicemen, the remains out, basically boxed them up, took them back down, identified them, sent them back, repatriated, everything like that. I got to go to Vietnam in 2004. What I thought was like super, super cool, man. But so if you start a business in Hanoi, Vietnam, I don't know if it's the same in every city, after I think it's 10 years or 15 years, whatever, the government basically owns it. So you go over there and you start, Foxy's Donuts. And man, dude, you're making money, man. You're banging out donuts. And then it's a 10 or 15 year mark, whatever. And they're like, okay, you know what? We own this. The state, the government, the country, we own this business. A lot of Scottish guys there around Hanoi, at least the area I was in. I don't know if it's different on the other side of town or whatever. These guys would come in and start a business, and we'll just say it's 10 years. The 9-year mark, there'd be like 4 of them or 5 of them. They would just basically rotate businesses. So Angus would sell his business to, freaking Sean, and Sean would sell his business and like basically reset the timer.
The same shit that the people are doing over here. A lot of the Indian folks come over here. I mean, nothing against these guys. They're over here, they're working their ass off. But the first guy buys it, and then once they lose all the tax benefits from the government, the next guy buys it. They just came over here and they just keep rotating around the same thing. Yep.
But yeah, because the one guy gave me a card, and it was from his, I think he had like Italian restaurant or something. No, take it back. It was an Irish pub. And still to this day, probably about the best corned beef and Guinness I've ever had. And it was kind of in a basement, like building and stuff. But I mean, hardwood, brass. I mean, just a beautiful place. Great food. And of course, we stood out, because we're white and I'm fairly pasty. I'm in Alaska. I ain't seen no sunshine in a while.
I ain't seen sun in 3 damn days.
Me and Kid Rock and the guy I went with. So he comes over and sits down and talks to us and gives us his card. But it had, I don't know, whatever, Angus McYoung or something. And it was like Ye Old Spaghetti Factory or some shit. And I'm looking, I'm like, I thought this was, freaking Uncle Bob's Pub or something. He goes, oh, well, that was, the number and address is still the same. But he told us, he's like, yeah, I just sold that to my buddy. Well, after hanging out there, I think I was there about 6 weeks or something. After hanging out, that was what they didn't really come out and say it, but they kind of came out and said it. Mm-hmm. Like, yeah, you get to right about when the government's going to take it over and you sell it. And there was a group of these guys and just, one day they're selling spaghetti and the next day they got an Irish pub. And, 9 years later, now they're, got a pizza place or something. Yeah. Some shit like that.
Shit. You got to beat the government somehow.
That's right. And I mean, hats off to them. If you can, no matter if it's communist or free country, but you know what, if you can get one over on the government, because they're going to take theirs for sure.
Get yours first.
Yep. So,
Mr. Disco Stu, we usually wrap this up with a safety brief.
Oh boy,
1 minute safety brief of like, do this, don't do that.
So who gets to give the safety brief? Bruce?
All of us.
Yeah, we all pitch in like 1 or 2 ideas.
Or sunscreen.
We got sunscreen. I like Bruce's personal favorite: don't add or take away from the population.
Yeah, I got 2 of them. So one's mine, and one was a Bruce. You got to remind me because there's a lot of people I knew this and that. We at Fort Lewis together or not? We weren't, right?
No, just up in Alaska.
So we had a first sergeant there that went on to division level sergeant major. Now may or may not work for a not a government agency, but somewhat associated with a government agency.
OGA.
And it's anyway,
Got
awesome dude. He works with some people. So anyway, his thing was he'd come out and take his beret off and just rip off about 5-finger dip and stuff it in. Started from day one, and when we had about 40 people, all the way up to it was fully staffed. He said, "You know what? You boys do dumb shit." He said, "Y'all guys, y'all men, you do dumb shit because all you're thinking about is sex." He said, "So, for example, you're really drunk and you're thinking, I'm going to drive to the Class 6 and get another case." He's like, "No, that's dumb. If you think you're going to do something stupid, jerk off." And even when he made it to division level sergeant major, he said the same thing. He would go down to infantry units, obviously, and they're all male units, and tell them the same thing. But yeah,
I like that.
That would have solved a lot of problems for a lot of people.
Yeah.
One Friday, a couple months, he's like, "All right, boys, you know what you're gonna do. You know what to do if you can do something stupid." And we all, yes, first sergeant, jerk off. He goes, "All right, let me clarify that a little bit. You need to make sure you're not in public when you do that. Like, you need to do that like in your barracks or at your house or in your bathroom. Like
in the shower.
Don't do that if you're up on it." He named a street in the local area. Now, I never heard of any sort of police report or anything, but it's kind of like that little safety warning on the fan belt: do not install with engine running.
Yeah,
they put it there because somebody did it.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking that he put that there because somebody did it. I mean, I could be wrong, but yeah, just kind of add to that. Do not add to the population, do not subtract. The thing I always told my guys: if you are involved with anyone that has a clipboard and flashing lights on their vehicle, I need to know immediately. So if there's fire department, if there's cops, ambulance, and that person's holding your clipboard, like your first call needs to be to Big Sarge.
Yes.
Call me. If you see flashing lights in a clipboard, they're asking you questions, let me know right away.
Oh God.
So I think our NiMRoD family is getting, just stay home, keep people off of your lawn, jerk off in the privacy of your own shower, home, and or garden.
That's right. Yep. Avoid flashing lights, people with clipboards.
Always avoid flashing lights.
Yep, jerk off as necessary.
Use a flashlight, not a flashing light.
That's right. Avoid active volcanoes. I mean, my family in Iceland avoid active volcanoes. That's always good advice there.
Oh Lord.
All right, Brucey, Mr. Stu, we
Yes, sir.
appreciate it.
You bet.
NiMRoDs, we will see you again very soon.
Hey, y'all be safe and don't get taken.
That's right.